If that is a mess up there. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome to another Saturday live stream with Fox, aka Cliff. Hope everyone is doing well. I just finished my supper, my dinner, whatever the heck you want to call it, brunch, breakfast. For me, technically, it's the first meal I've eaten today, so it could, by all rights, consider it breakfast. But hey, anyways, I hope everyone's ready to have a good week and some good snacks. You there, be welcomed to the Fox It Outdoors live stream. How you doing today, Rob? Hope all is well on your side of the pond. And if not, I'm sorry that all is not well on your side of the pond. Okay. Phone's at a good enough charge. I should be all right with that the rest of the night. Good evening, Molly. How's it going? Hope you're having a good weekend, I suppose. It's technically the end of the week. Although technically the end of the week would be Sunday. So the start of the weekend would be Friday. I believe that is a good thing, depending on your perspective, your viewpoints, and whatnot, and what have you. I'm still hungry. I got the munchies. I just ate a whole thing of chicken carbonara. And I got the munchies. Tonight's munchies are going to be hot fries. It's only like half the bag because I ate half of it last night. I was feeling snackish. Hey, bran flakes. Low dietary fiber there, Rob. Oh, I've also got cheese puffs, Cheetos, cheese puffs. I've got some Gardettos. And I have Chex Mix, which I mix together and I just make my own. Good evening, Daniel and Tiffany. Daniel is grilling Zumos. What the heck are Zumos? Right, I hear that. Oh, hot links. Okay. 10-4, copy that. Good thing I got water. Because I'm also really thirsty. Even though I just drank a liter of Kool-Aid. So, how is everybody this weekend? Hope all is well. Hope everybody has mild weather. As always over here, it's hot and dry. And I was supposed to go turn my water off on my plants because I have those running right now. So I might do that real briefly. I'm going to go run outside and turn off my hose so I'm not watering everywhere else that I don't need to water. So apologies, folks. I will be back momentarily. So I have something to wipe my fingers on. Yes, emptied it about a half hour ago. 40 minutes ago, I emptied it. What's your temp over there, sorry, Daniel, what's the temp right now? Weather isn't, I hear that the weather doesn't weather properly. When the weather doesn't weather, the weather doesn't know what the weather's doing. Blind leading the blind. 80 and muggy. Damn. We have, I think it was like 94 today. Yeah. 94. But dry. Well, actually hit 97. 97 today, 98 tomorrow. Slightly milder week. And good evening, Grace. How's it going? Ooh, 106. That's a little toasty. That's a little toasty. Damn, 70 degrees at nearly 80% humidity. That's terrible. That's great for growing plants and stuff, but terrible for the people. That was uncomfortable. I recently finished, literally right before the live, I was eating my last bite of chicken carbonara. Bag stuff is so much easier to make than sitting there trying to cook it all by yourself, like from scratch. Well, are you going to leave them in there all night, or are you just going to leave them in there for a few hours and then put them back on? And wear them in the morning, like Bobby Hill, pulling them out of the microwave. So, wait till that question gets answered. Nice. You just doing the chicken? And just as a fair warning for all that are in here, for the next session, I will only be doing one drink. I did not feel the need to go buy drinks. So I have one Red Bull left, and that's it. Oh, nice. So, second session, we'll only have one drink. Oh, last week when I did the three big drinks and then the freaking mics on that, I had a fully empty stomach, and that did not sit well with me. Went outside to go water my plants, and yeah, I know I'm going to get flack for it, but I had to purge. I was not feeling right. Slept great after that. Like after I made some room, felt fine afterwards and then slept pretty decently. So, yeah, I don't know. And I tried to eat something, but I just wasn't having it. So tonight, I will not repeat that mistake. Oh, I'm going to drink. I'm just only going to have the one good one. The one stiff one. Not the 2 or 3 that I normally have. Ooh, orange cordial. Does it have pulp? All right. Anyway, reach in my pocket. Where'd it go? Where's the other one? There it is. Hey, there should be 3 in here. All right, where are you at? Oh, I have it already. As always, harvesting beans. It's kind of slowing down right now for the production of my plant, but it'll ramp up here in a bit. Another couple of days, I'll start getting a ton of these things. But yeah, for some reason, my pods now are only putting out 1 to 2 beans per pod, which is kind of odd. The first ones I was getting were putting like 5 to 6 roughly. Hey, Pappy, how's it going? Good to see you. Nice. Man, everyone's having like good dinners tonight. I had chicken carbonara. You're over there eating steak and pork tenderloin. Daniel's TD Knives and Adventures is smoking chicken for dinner. Rob's currently eating, I think it was, what was he eating? Where'd it go? He's eating bran flakes. Molly, best pest hunter catch, is going to be eating some smoked sausage or some sausage links and some other stuff tonight. Best way to clean off the fingers is to suck them clean. Pause on that for now. No more snacks at the moment. I've been doing pretty decent on the rest of the garden. My lettuce is kind of bolted. I was trying to prevent them from doing that, but you know, lettuce likes a cooler temperature, so they just said wee and started turning into trees. Let's see. I'm on the verge of losing 2 of the remaining 6 citrus plants that I tried growing throughout the season. I don't know what happened. They just did not want to take. All the other saplings seem to be doing good. The 4 brand new ones that I bought at the beginning of the season, they're doing fantastic. They're actually getting really big. My new bean trellis, still going. Stupid thing. They're, despite the soil sinking, they are getting closer and closer to the trellis. So that'll be nice once they get up that. We'll see what I get, if I get anything left from that off there this season. I don't know what's going to happen, to be honest. I know darn well I planted them way too late. I planted them approximately 24 days ago. So I don't know if I have enough time for them to grow and fully mature. Peppy's got cucumbers, yellow squash, zucchini coming ripe now. Nice. Speaking of that, I've got cucumber or squash in the back on a trellis system that I set up. Really nice, actually. I had 2 of these like 3-foot wide chevron panels that are like 4.5 foot tall. So I stuck them in the ground and I put a T-post in between them so they wouldn't move, because the T-post is like 5 or 6 foot. So I nailed that in there pretty much to the top of them, and I wire tied it to the T-posts so my trellises wouldn't move anywhere. I had originally planted 8 seeds. I'm sorry, 16. I put 2 seeds on each end of the sprinkler heads that I put in there, of the micro sprinklers. So I had eight little seeds dotted every like 6 inches on there, or 6 to 8 inches. And for some reason on one side only 2 of them germinated, or one of them germinated. The other side 2 of them germinated. So I have 3 plants that are somehow taking over the entire trellis. There are so many tendrils on it, like it's just sending branches. I've got like 4 runners that are just like going into the rest of the bushes over there. So I'm just going to get stuff off of it. I looked at it yesterday and I already got like a 6-inch cucumber on there, which was kind of surprising because I didn't think there was anything on it. I have one out here in a pot. That's technically a nursery pot for trees. I put a seed in that one. That one came up. I've nearly killed it 3 times. And I was checking on it yesterday, and I have a zucchini or a cucumber in that one. I'm not 100% sure which one it is. So, yeah, I probably lost about 10 or 15 on that because before I kind of almost toasted it the last time, there was a lot of fruit. It was bearing fruit on there a lot, so I kind of lost out on all of those. They would have been just about ready to eat this week. Ooh, damn good. Also, good evening, Deb. How's it going? That sucks. No internet until Monday. And replacement tablet arrived Thursday. Watching on it now. Nice. Hope the new tablet's got some good clarity and sound and you don't have any lag issues. So, kudos to you, dear. Kudos to you. Hopefully when you get the new internet, you won't have any more issues. Now, if only Canada can afford some decent internet. Instead of being cheap. So there's that. So let's see. My peas aren't doing well. They're struggling at best. Again, wrongs. I always plant them in the beginning of the season and they do good for like the first month or so. And then they just peter out because it just gets too hot too fast. So I think I need to learn to start like end of August, plant my peas, and then give them the last 4 months to grow, give or take. I think that might work out better for me. Let's see. Other than that, haven't gotten much on harvests for beans. I'm kind of torn on confusion here because last season when I did the bush beans, no, I stand corrected. When I did the bush beans that I harvested them, they didn't get very big. I've got one out there that's about 1.5 feet high. That's about it. I was thinking, no, for some reason, my brain is, I apologize, I'm a little off skew today. It's been a weird, really kind of annoying week, but I digress. It was the ones that I was growing were the cow peas. Pappy, easiest way to do the beans. I've done it, and just about every other person will tell you. I don't know if you have this information or not. I'm just going to reiterate the statements or knowledge as it is. Soak your beans for 24 hours before you plant them. And you can actually soak them, I believe, in the refrigerator will actually help a little. Keeps the beans from getting too hot, I believe. But yeah, if you soak your beans for 24 hours before you plant them, they germinate a lot faster. Also, when you plant them, water the first watering use really rich like fertilizer. So if you have like compost tea, uh, mix it in with there when you water them the first time, and or some like fish emulsion or fish fertilizer, a little bit watered down, and mix that in there as well. They will take off. Just from what I've heard, I haven't tried it myself. I usually have, despite my climate, most of my beans will germinate within 3 to 5 days of me watering them constantly, but I water them every day. I've got beans popping up at work right now that I took with me that I had in my pocket from apparently the day before. I had forgotten to empty out my pocket, so I had some beans in there. So I got a broken sprinkler line at work that building management hasn't fixed yet. So I dug a couple of trenches and I just stuck random things in there. I had 5 sunflowers. One of them got broken. Squirrel ate the top half. Then the squirrel ate the leaves off of another one. Started on the third one. I managed to save those, so I have three out of like 5 left surviving. Oh, that's weird. And then a couple weeks, like 2 weeks ago, I planted beans in there. They're popping up. And then last week, the building coworker, not business coworker, building coworker, he had one of those ornamental like chili stacks, chili stringers. It's basically like it's a southwest thing. So basically, you get a bunch of like green chilies or wet chilies when they're ready, and you basically string them up into like a cone and a column. So not a cylindrical column, and you hang them around your house, kitchens, living rooms. Everybody hangs those things. Hey, Jason, how's it going? So he had one hanging on his ceiling, and it fell and it crushed a couple of the dried chilies. Now these are legitimate chilies; they are not fake. So you can actually take one of those chilies off, grind it into a powder, use it, and burn your face. Those chilies are usually hot chilies. So, anyways, he grabbed a handful of the seeds that he was cleaning up, and he tossed them in the trench where I have the broken sprinkler line filling up to water all the other stuff. And I went out there and looked today, and like 30 of them had germinated. I was like, damn. So I was actually shocked. But they're in a weird spot. So they get watered daily at 10 o'clock in the morning. That's the only time they get water, as far as I know. And then they're in like sun and shade the rest of the day. So it's weird. Good combination though, because it's gonna be kind of funny if we can get those to grow over there. I'm just gonna start growing random stuff in the medians. Yes, I have seen the wreaths, but down here they don't do them very often. They're usually, like I said, they just do the cylinder stack or cylinder towers. So you just get like a big old stringer that's anywhere between a foot to like 3 feet long. Be like 80 to 100 chilies on there. And they do not cook them, like they don't roast them. They air dry them. So what you do is, you can't really show it on this one. So this is one of my older jalapenos. Normally you leave the stem on there, the green part, and you want to cut it about an inch. So you want to leave about an inch of the tail on there. And then what you do is you basically just get a sewing needle with some string, and you just push the needle through, pull it out, and you just let them dangle. Similar to what everybody would do for the popcorn for Christmas. I don't know if anybody who here did it. I don't like talking about this subject. I hate this particular holiday, but it's the easiest way to describe it. The popcorn stringers that you used to do with your family, you would just get like, mom would just sit there with like a mile of freaking sewing thread and a needle, and you just sit there and poke through popcorn and pull the popcorn down to make the I guess lanyards, popcorn stringers that you wrap around your tree. And that's how you do those chilies, but then you just kind of do them in a circle, and you just kind of let them pile up on there. But those chilies are legit. You can have those chilies sitting there for years. And if you need an emergency chili, you can just cut one off. Yes, Garland. Thank you, Grace. Garland. Brain is not braining. So yeah, you make a couple of those, and like I said, you could probably pull those off and plant the seeds. And I have an odd feeling that regardless of where they're at, they might germinate regardless. Because hit the guy next door at the food place next door to me at his restaurant, like I said, he just chucked them out in the trench over there, and they've popped up tons of them. And I don't know how fresh or how old his chili hanger is. So yeah, housewarming gifts, or some people just I mean, you can go to like local chili places down here, like and they'll even sell them at like tortilla companies. They just have rows of them like on the front counter, and you'll be like, if you can. The worst that can happen is somebody can say no, but it doesn't hurt to ask if those things are for sale. Most of the time you can. Oh yeah, you can buy the chilies like from Hatch, because you guys are, but yeah, Hatch is like in between both states, so it's southern New Mexico, but you guys still get probably can get Hatch chili up there too. I know they can get it in Texas, but I don't think I've ever seen a Texan eat Hatch chili. That's a mixed bag of, is it going to be hot or is it going to be not hot? Am I going to burn all the way through, or is it going to be kind of upset stomach? No, we're good. You never know with that stuff. So yeah, so that's how that's going. I kind of want to grow more at work because I basically got access to free water, and I want to. There's a few things I want to do over there to kind of improve the outlook of the island that's right there on the backside. But I can't do much when I'm at work all the time, and I don't want to spend my days off at work, even though it's potentially beneficial to the area, but at the same time, it's not really my property to modify or otherwise change the layout of. I'm just doing this now because I was bored, and the worst they can do is tell me not to do it next year and just cut my plants down. I'll be like, but I'm trying to bring it back to nice. There's a lot of things I'm trying to do. It's really weird. So this is this does pertain to gardening, sort of, to an aspect. I keep running across on either like both Instagram and YouTube Shorts. I just run across this guy all the time who does a lot of conservation work for properties, trying to restore like wildlands to their natural state. And he kind of brought up a point that I thought was rather valid, is the fact that we do not have nearly as many bug deaths on our windows as we used to. He relates or correlates that to the lack of wild greenery, wildflowers, wildflower seeds, all of that stuff that used to, be rampant everywhere across the US. And now we're terraforming everything the way we want it, but we're losing our bugs. Hey, Cage Free, how's it going? How you doing, brother? I'm doing fine. It's hanging short-shouldered and to the left, but, it is what it is. Yeah, Deb, you realize I live in New Mexico. I am like 2 hours, 3 hours north of Mexico. I can get there in like I think it's like 3 or 4 hours I can drive to Mexico. But yeah, it's a South thing. You can get them. I know they sell them in Texas. They'll sell them. You can probably get them in Southern California, just because of the relations of where California and Mexico actually are. Uh, I know you can find them in Arizona. Like I said, New Mexico down here. There are some places in Colorado you can find them, but usually you're only going to find them in like an actual Mexican restaurant. So most of the time, most people don't have those chili things unless you most likely moved from like New Mexico or down like in the south. Something on the back of my neck's pissing me off. Got it. But yes, but yes, you can grow those seeds. They do germinate. Now the only problem is due to the late nature of them germinating. I do not think those plants are going to have time to mature. That is my only grievance that I currently have with that. So they might get foot tall, and then we're going to be in winter season. Man, they probably won't make it. So, yeah, plants are like the lottery. You win them, you win some, you lose some. You don't know what you're going to get until you get it. Oh, and here's another one for you. So I don't know if you guys remember. I think I mentioned it last week or the week before that I have a couple of squash plants, supposed squash plants that I'm still trying to identify growing in with the roses. The funny thing is, I'm the one that put the seeds in that dirt. They're not random. They were not accidental seeds that somehow ended up over there when I dumped a pile of scraps in that area. No. I planted 2 seeds in there. I forgot what they were when I planted them. I had meant to come inside and make a tag for them. Completely got sidetracked, forgot about it. The only reason why I remembered they were there is because of where I put the sprinkler head for the automated sprinkler, or for the micro drip system. So they popped up after a while, and I was like, cool, I got some squash plants along with some other weeds and some other stuff that I've been slowly pulling out left and right. Yada, yada, yada. Down the road now to the 26th. And the damn vines and the bush, whatever I planted, those 2 plants are climbing into the roses. They're not roses. They are climbing into the roses. They are literally using the roses as a trellis. I have one fruit that I noticed on there. It's short. It's currently about the size of an almond, but it's fuzzy. So I think based off the small fruit that's already produced on there, I'm thinking it's cantaloupe. But I don't know yet. I will have to wait to see what shape that particular fruit takes. If it still has more or less the same, it's like a little tiny football, like slash almond, same shape. But I'll be able, in another week or so, I'll be able to 100% identify what plant that is. 3 months left until it starts to cool off. Yeah, but even when cooler weather still kicks in, Daniel, in your location, unless you guys get snow, you guys drop down to what, like 45, 50 degrees roughly at night? even then, you can still grow most plants as long as it's not freezing. Best ones to plant, to be honest, the best ones to plant after like basically next month would be beans. Sorry, not beans, peas. Sweet peas, sugar snap peas, anything that's got a rather short but productive cycle, you want to plant in the cooler weather. Lettuce, brassicas, radishes will work too, because they have it's roughly anywhere between 22 to 31 days for radishes, depending on the variety of radish. You won't have to worry so much about your radishes bolting and trying to make seeds, but it is also a good thing if you leave one or two of them to do that, because God, the amount of seeds that I can collect off of my radishes when they bolt. I get like a 2-foot tall tree, and it just hundreds of pods on there. Hundreds. All of the radishes that I have, aside from the watermelon radish, are seeds that I've harvested and collected from other previous years of seed collection, or from radishes going to seed. Some of them are mixed, because I did kind of forget at one point which container was what, and then I just started mixing them in there. So I have a mix of radish seeds and daikon radish. There might also be some English breakfast radish in there, globe radish, which the reason they're called globe radish is it's a little small radish, but that thing is like a freaking circle. It's a sphere, like a medium-sized bouncy ball, I guess would be the best way to put it. But under the right conditions, you can get them to grow to the size of a golf ball. Yeah, see, I would say then for you, probably I would grow pumpkins. That would give you 90 days to grow pumpkins. So I should probably try to start putting mine out to see if I can't get them to go. I can take over a whole section of my property with pumpkins. Just let them do their thing. Which would be kind of fun, because I got a ton of pumpkin seeds. I bought a couple of them. You know what? The heck? I thought I had more than this. Oh shit, I guess I don't. So apparently I only have 4 bags of pumpkin seeds. So I have the jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. I have the what the hell are those? Spooky pumpkins. That's kind of weird. I got early sugar pumpkin, which, to be honest, it doesn't matter the name of it. You can even make pumpkin pie out of these damn things. These are the gourd, the harvest blend. Like, I consider these like gourd pumpkins, because they don't get very big, and majority of the time these are the ones that you can paint in your house, let them sit there and use them as like decorations for whatever have you. But you can also do the same thing with like the spooky, or like the little tiny, like the little pumpkins. It doesn't really matter the size of the pumpkin. To be honest, you can paint or decorate a pumpkin however you want, no matter what size it is. So I might have to start putting those. And then I still got my rosemary seeds. Haven't done anything with those ones, because the rosemary that I got last season, after I killed my other one, which I had kept alive for like 10 years in a pot, accidentally murdered it. That was my own fault. Nothing I could do to recover it other than take off whatever I could for seasoning, and I got half a container of dried, ground up seasoning for it. Um, that thing is getting big fast. It is 4 times its original size now at this point, because that was a small little bush when I bought it, a little tiny bush for like 15 bucks, and that thing is about 4 times the size now. So I got to go through at some point. I got to trim it and sculpt it to get it to grow the way I want it to. And once I can get that, I can worry about getting it to grow faster and bigger. Although my neighbor's got a really good sized bush on her property. She's had that over there for about 3 years now, out just outside in the dirt, and it is taking off. But it's a different variety of rosemary. But it still works. It still all tastes like rosemary. I can trim off of that one if necessary, or just trim off a little bit off of mine. And the more you trim off of it, the more it's going to promote growth anyway. The bigger that thing is going to get. I wish I was able to take cuttings off of that, get them to root, and go from there to grow more rosemary. I wouldn't mind selling rosemary. I could do rosemary and mint, because my mint is going nuts right now. Absolutely nuts. I did lose one big planter of my mint, but that planter had been struggling for like the last 3-4 years. So it just finally kicked the bucket. And at this point now, I just have 2 sunflowers growing in that pot, so they're doing whatever they're doing. And then I've got next to it my two other, I think it's peppermint and spearmint, but it's still mint either way. And then for some reason, I don't understand how, don't understand why, backyard, I have it in one spot only, but yet somehow it managed to plant itself, unbeknownst to me until about 2 weeks ago. I have mint in a separation border. And I seen that in there, and I was like, is that mint? Because I was confused. I thought it might have been like catmint, but the leaves were the wrong color, wrong shape, and wrong texture. So I went down and looked at it, and I just did, like you grab a leaf to find out kind of what it is by rubbing it just a little bit. So I did that like kind of pinch rub, sniff test, and sure enough, that damn thing was mint. Good evening, Cecilia. How's it going? Good to see you. Yes, I did eat tonight. Everybody here is actually eating pretty good. Jason and Molly are doing sausages, and I don't know what else. She never mentioned it. Jason's outside grilling. That's why he's not here with us in chat. Daniel and Tiffany are doing smoked chicken and something else. Pappy, if he's still in here, he just finished some teriyaki pork loins or pork tenders and some veggies. I think Grace said she was finishing what? Crapola. Grace said she was eating something. What did she say? Grace had BLTs for dinner. So everybody's eating good tonight. We're just sitting here talking about squashes. Deb said something up here. Sugar pumpkins are good to eat like squash and for pies. Likes the really big ones, silver color inside and really dense. Nice. Yeah, I like the good, really thick rind pumpkins because you need less of it in order to make a pie. I kind of want to grow giant pumpkins, but truth be told, I don't have the floor plan to do that. Sorry. Like the third day in a row, I'm running on like 4 hours of sleep. Oh, nice, ordering pet food. And then Deb had packed ramen bowl. Deb, if it's hot, I've been struggling the entire summer trying to eat stuff. I've been trying to avoid eating anything hot. Like, there was one period where I spent like 2, 3 days eating nothing but popsicles and ice cream because I didn't want to eat anything hot. Hey, CR, how's it going? Good to see you. Hope you'll get to use whatever items you got at the flea market slash yard sale slash whatever you guys call it up in Canada. Hope you get to use that this winter, and I hope it's kind of an interesting thing to use, to be honest. Not really. You'd be surprised how often you actually have to water a giant pumpkin. Due to the fact that majority of the pumpkin is vine, and that's all you grow. You grow one bush, one plant, and you only allow like most of these giant pumpkin growers that I've watched grow pumpkins, they usually only allow like a maximum of 3 fruits on the entire plant. And those 2 additional fruits are backups just in case something goes wrong with the first one. No, I am not. I've got my air conditioner running, and you're most likely hearing this guy, my little fan light. I can turn him off though. I'm actually not sweating my brains out right now, but no, I've got my air conditioner is pretty noisy. That's why half the time I can't hear what you guys saying when I have panel up here because that thing drives me nuts. But it's a lot quieter than having anything else going. Probably could oil the bearings on it. I cleaned it out, but I didn't oil anything when I cleaned it out the last time at the beginning of the season. But yeah, I mean, it'd be nice, just to grow 1 or 2 giant pumpkins down here, just to have them, just be kind of cool. Imagine carving out a giant pumpkin. God, the amount of seeds you're going to get out of there. Yeah, but you don't have to water a lot. Maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day. But if you have catchment system, like a rain catchment system, you can run that on a set timer and small 12-volt pump and have it pump water to the core of the pumpkin, you know, 5-10 minutes a day, every hour, every 2 hours, every 3 hours, doesn't matter. As long as it gets enough water. But the thing is with giant pumpkins, like I said, the way they grow them is a lot of vines. So they'll bury the lines, like whatever the pumpkin formation is growing on, they'll bury that entire vine in the dirt. And the only thing that sticks out are the leaves. So essentially everywhere there's a leaf, that can send down a root node. So it's sending down more root nodes to pull in more nutrients to make that pumpkin bigger. I know I'm probably telling you guys stuff you already know, but for water, God, I think my water bill was like $11. No, sorry, $81 for this month. And I've actually left the hose on accident twice. It's kind of odd because I usually turn that thing off. But anyways, so yeah, if I had a better water catchment system, I would just be 100% running my entire garden off of that. But I think I would need a minimum of like 5,000 gallons. See, now it should be a lot quieter. I don't have the compressor running on the AC. It just turned off. It's like 75 degrees in here, but that thing's been shutting off recently. It's kind of weird. Ooh, just rained a bit. Nice. Oh, that's what my water bill was. That's what I spent, was $81 in water this month. I don't have probably nearly as much production value as you guys do over there, because unfortunately I work I still have a day job, so I can't be outside 24/7, 367, 385,000 days a year. If I was at like, 5-10,000 subs, was making, a small amount of current like coin on here, that could help me a little bit. Really what I'm waiting to do is I'm just saving up so I can buy like 5 to 10 acres of property. Hopefully I can find 5 to 10 decent acres of property and grow a particular crop, which hopefully nobody will steal, and turn a profit from that. I can make money here just selling it. An additional $200, $300, $500 a month for whatever, or at least, a couple single hefty payments, and then I got to wait for another season to grow more. But at the same time, the particular item that I want to grow will self-replicate and get slightly denser on its own. That was a weird sound. Yeah, that'll do it. Go for it, Rob. Some kohlrabi, some greens, carrots, radishes, beets. If you're into if you do beets, collard greens. Actually, I'd probably, for your area, I'd probably do more collard greens than anything else, because I know I know you're not Irish, but I know there's a crap ton of Irish pubs over there. Dude, there's freaking lavender everywhere out here. Everywhere you can find that stuff. I've got 4 plants in my yard, and I hate those plants. I don't know why, but I hate those plants. I absolutely hate those plants. Me personally, I'm not a fan of lavender. Don't like the smell. The plant, when it's in bloom, is pretty. It's like a nice purple flower. It's a good pollinator plant. It does bring in a lot of the small, like, pollinator bugs, little tiny mini flies, mini wasps, mini bees, whatever the hell they are. They're like little tiny bugs, like usually about a centimeter to 2 centimeters, centimeter and a half, give or take. They look like bees, sound like flies, all over the place. All over the place. But I don't like the smell of lavender. I don't like it. I have to deal with it here because it's in the yard. I have to garden it. So there's that. I know technically I can harvest it and do like lavender tea, but that's about it. I can also I probably can make tea out of mint too. Or sorry, honey out of mint. That'd be an interesting one, some mint honey. But I basically would have to get a ton of mint, squish it, get the extract, and go from there. It'd be kind of interesting to try. But no, let's just say one of the crops I want to grow, if I could grow this on an acre, I could make the standard yearly income of a, trying to figure out the range of a, like, middle class, uh, middle class. Oh, my brain just shut off. I'm sorry, folks. middle-class residents, I'd be able to make the entire yearly salary on one sale of this plant. Even small batches of that plant, I can sell for a good chunk of money. That's kind of what I'm going for. We'll see if it works. We'll see if it works. No, it is actually not ginseng. Surprisingly, it is a flower that is similar in ways of looks of a daylily. I just don't know if I can grow it down here. So I got 30 seeds coming from it, or pods coming from it. And I'm going to plant them in 2 different locations to see what goes where and how it grows. Because if that's how I have to make money in order to get to where I want, then that's what I'm going to do. I can forgo growing any other crops. I can grow that one, focus on that one crop, get what I can for it, and maybe even start selling the crop myself. Not the crop itself, but the plant that actually produces the crop. Yes, bingo on that one there, Grace. That is 100% correct. That is an expensive freaking herb. And you don't harvest the plant. You harvest the stupidest thing off of that plant. And for some reason, that stuff is like gold in the plant world. Pound for pound, I think that particular seasoning has more value than truffles. Which is saying a lot, because we all know if you get a good haul of truffles, you can make a good chunk of change. But you have to have something that can find the truffles. And then when you do, you don't tell anybody where you got them from, because they will come and they will raid your place, and then you will have none of that for the next time. And you do not harvest them clean. You have to leave a few so they can repopulate next season. Because a truffle is technically a mushroom. Yeah, they grow it over there, Rob, and they sell it to the rest of us dumb suckers. That's why I'm buying the plants. I'm buying plants myself. Actually, I'm not buying the plants. I'm buying the bulbs, or as they're called, corms, CORMS. I believe I got 30 of them coming. Think all in all, total price I paid for it was like 40. No, sorry, $38, something like that. Mad cheap. I'm just waiting for them to send them. They won't send them until the end of the summer or end of the season, like late fall. Ooh, geese. Geese. Good evening, Howie. Popping in the last minute and a half of the live, but do not fret, my friend. If you are still willing, I am going to do another live stream in just a brief moment. Yeah, that is definitely Howie. Last time I checked, man over there getting more out of the damn food forests in his area than half the damn farmers I know, and I only know like one. But yeah, just if anyone was curious about the title of tonight's live, "Embrace the Half," that's just saying that we're at the halfway point. We are now going on the downslope of the rest of the year. This was our halfway mark, and well, technically last year was our halfway. Last month was our halfway mark, but yeah, this is now the downslope of the season. So we're off and running downhill now, folks. Getting ready for winter time for most of us. God damn, that's too many cucumbers. I can't handle that many cucumbers. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the 1 hour mark for this particular event. Give me roughly 3 to 5 minutes. We will get the next one set up. If you all are still interested in talking about gardening, whatnot, outdoor stuff, could be camping, could be randomly planting seeds out in the middle of nowhere on a camping trip. That could be fun. There's no law saying that we can't do it. So the next time y'all go camping, take a shaker of wildflower seeds and just start shaking it out into the woods. Walking around, shake it off to one side, shake it off to the other side. Start getting our wildflower population and our wildlife populations back up. So let's get that ball rolling, and we'll continue that on the next live. So like I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is gonna be Fox Outdoors signing off. Do me a favor on the way out, like, share, subscribe, hit that thumbs up, let YouTube know you enjoy my content, sorry. And I will see you guys here briefly on the next one. It's me again, Fox Outdoors, and signing off.